Big D Energy would like to say thank you not only to the Lions but to you, sir, the hometown hero, Command Sergeant Major William Russell III, joining us here at Big D Energy. Congratulations and thank you, sir. And like I said, you've been through doing this a long time. You have a lot of responsibility over a lot of this time. But I guess my first question to you is, I guess what is this when you were asked about this honor and going to do this for Thanksgiving? What does it mean to you?
Oh, it's a great privilege, Darren, and thank you for having me, Joique. Nice to see you guys. It's a great honor being from Detroit, the East Side, watching many Lions games on Thanksgiving, the ups and the downs. But I wouldn't rather be any place in Ford Field on Thursday.
You know, another question I had for you, obviously, being the highest on-ranking non-commissioned officer and leading as many men that we have, men and women in the National Guard here, what are some of the things that, I guess, from your perspective, that the public out here or whatever, what the National Guard or what you guys, are trying to do in the community, because you are a huge part of this community, and I don't think a lot of people realize as much as what's going on. So can you give some people some background of what the National Guard is?
And especially during these last year and a half with COVID going on, how we stepped up in the community, the food banks, the vaccination clinics, the testing sites. We went all over the state, even in the UP, up to the prisons up there. We did with the local sheriff office, the police department. We go in and test, and it's just a tremendous honor because we're in a unique situation where the governor is our commander in chief, and we pride ourselves and when we call, stepping up and answering the bell.
And I think that's important.
I love that question. Like I always ask this question to the heroes we have come in. What prompted you to enlisting in the first place?
Like I said, growing up on the East Side, I needed some direction and purpose, and on a whim, I decided to go in and see my recruiter, and 4 days later, I was headed off to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and it was the best decision over 32 years ago, best decision in my life. I've been all over the world, met a lot of great people, so, and doing what we do. Less than 1% of the American population serve and considered veterans, so it's just been a pleasure and a joy, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
My question is you mentioned you've been all over the world and stuff, and being from Detroit, some of you, I'm wondering about some of your great sports memories, because when I get to talk to all the military guys and stuff, and you don't realize is that we're playing these games and championship, but you guys get to follow, and a lot of times, we get pictures. I get Red Wing pictures from guys serving. I have a lot of commemorative stuff thanks to the military guys, because it means a lot to us as athletes. But do you remember some of your favorite moments, either growing up in Detroit sports or?
Oh my goodness! And I'm glad you brought that up. It was 1991. I was over in Desert Storm, and the Pistons. I wrote them a letter, just laying in my cot in the tent, and I wrote the Pistons a letter because they was my favorite team, the Bad Boys, and John Sally, Dennis Rodman sent me an autographed picture, and I got a letter from the Pistons organization. And then in 2002, when you guys came back from that 3-2 deficit to the Avalanche, my brother-in-law was here. He was from Grand Junction, Colorado, and I was able to rub that in his face because he was killing me when he first came to visit, because they went up 3-2, and when you guys stormed back and won the cup, it was just a great day.
Well, I'll tell you, to that memory, as I tell everybody, listen, the two greatest game goaltending performances that I will always remember is Game 6 and Game 7. Dominic Hasek in the conference finals, shutting out Colorado 2-0 there, and then 7-0 here, or whatever like that.
Love it, man.
Love it.
Now, question: when you were out on tour and you have all your friends from around the country, did you guys ever make wager make wagers on some of the games?
Most definitely. In Somalia, when the Wolverines, when they had the Fab Five, I was over in Somalia when they lost to North Carolina, the infamous timeout game. And I caught grief because I brag a lot on my Michigan hometown teams. I took a little grief, but it was still all worth it. We made it.
You made it.
I like so being obviously brought up Michigan last segment. Joique and I were talking about the big game at the Big House this week with Ohio State. How you got any inkling feeling that the Wolverines going to win? What kind of game we going to see here?
Hey, listening to Joique, he hit it dead on the nail. Where if we can put pressure on Ohio State with just the front four, we stand a good chance. We already run the nickel package with 5 defensive backs out there, and like you're saying, we got to get Stroud off his spot. We got to make him uncomfortable, and we have to do ball control. I think Michigan State gave up on the run a little bit too quick, so we got to stick to the game plan. Run the ball. When you run the ball, that means less opportunities for Stroud and that offense to get out on the field. Yeah. So we got to ball control and stick to the game plan.
Yeah, you look overall, I think we are a more balanced offense than MSU
Roger
as far
that.
as run pass.
And let's get it straight. You just brought up the nickels or whatever. Well, you got some NFL DBs back there. You got some guys. State had no. Right? It's like playing Pop Warner.
Yeah,
but you got some guys that can run. You got some guys that I like their secondary.
Yes, sir.
Better. So I think like you said, Joique comes back. I think the matchup is a lot better for Michigan just because it's more talent. If you do look at the rosters and you look at talent and who coming out or whatever, this is a lot of these guys probably battled each other before, played each other before. They know what's going on. One of the questions I wanted to ask you, and I think it's important, and that it's Thanksgiving, is there a message, from yourself or like the military message that, for everybody out there, being together, being thankful, because for lack of a better term, right? Ronnie knows that, talk about it all the time, but I mean, your life's job was to stay alive. Every day, right? Joique and I are trying not to get injured or trying not to get that career-ending injury and stuff like this. But your job every day is not to protect, but also to, you're into live bullet dodging and stuff. So I guess the perspective from a man that has seen it, has been there, and because you're from Detroit, Big D energy. Right? What's Big D? It's about you, sir. It's about all of us, Detroit versus everybody. So I think on Thanksgiving, I want to hear some OG words.
Yeah, yes, sir. So what I first of all, I would like, to send a special shout out to our men, our airmen, and the rest of the service branches out there serving overseas as not being able to be home with their family on Thanksgiving. And like you were saying, I'm at the point in my career, it's all about giving back. I had great leaders over the years that took me under their wing and say, hey, look here, Private Russell, this is what I need you to do. This is what I need you to do. The first time I deployed during Desert Storm, not knowing what the heck going on, trusting them. And so now it's my turn to instill that sense of pride and accomplishment in these younger soldiers. And like I tell the younger soldiers, by default, you are the next greatest generation. Nobody else in the chute. So we need you guys to step up and answer the call. But I think we're in great hands with this new generation coming up.
Good.
See, we talk about right there is what you said it, because it's the fact that you see it, right? This new generation, and it's to Joique's point, what we talked about before, going to Wayne State. We all have leaders. Mine are leading leading the Red Wings right now. I mean, Steve Eiserman and Lidstrom and all the guys that I played with. So, and the fact, and I make no bones about it. A lot of things in my transition and the way that I've done it, but you know what? Even and I tell everybody out there, I got a mil spec, right? My right hand guy's Nick Antonucci, who's an Army guy who's been a
good
hero.
Guy. I met Nick at at a banquet that we were having to help out with the veterans to raise money for suicide awareness. Great guy.
Absolutely great.
Guy.
So that's and because of that military respect, because of like yourself, we're passing it down. That I'm able to, I don't know, be the person and help be the person, but I couldn't do it alone. And it's just that awareness that we're all in this together. My last question is, what do you look forward to the most eating at Thanksgiving?
Oh man, the ham and deviled eggs. The
I love deviled eggs too. Joique's got a
ham and deviled eggs.
Joique's got the question of the questions for you, bro. Give me your question.
You talking about for the food?
Yep.
All right, so you got the deviled eggs, you got the ham. Now, what's your dessert?
Oh, pecan pie.
Pecan
pie. Pecan pie.
But if you had a choice, sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie?
Sweet potato.
There you
Sweet
go.
Potato.
There you go. There you go.
Sweet potato.
I tell them, I say it jokingly, but it's the truth. It's jokingly, but I always tell them, like, listen, black people, we eat sweet potato pie, and white people usually do pumpkin pie. And
but here's the whole thing, because
I have both.
Speak as a white
both.
person, we weren't introduced into sweet potato pie until it's the same thing as you talk. Man, you're talking to a guy who loves soul food. Collard greens, grits, all that, but not being introduced to it, right? So once being introduced to it, you got to give us sort of a break. They were hiding that from us.
And that was the same way with me. In 1989 was the first time I ever had pumpkin pie in the mess hall. So I grew up on sweet potato pie, candy yam, sweet potato pie, but the first time I had pumpkin pie was in 1989 when I was at Fort Riley, Kansas.
I love it.
Look at that.
I love it.
Yeah, you got time. I have one more question for you.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you spoke briefly about how your leaders and people above you and your commanders were how they would have to stay behind on the holidays. We had this conversation yesterday about what do you do when you start to lose motivation? Like, what motivates you then? Is it, is staying alive? Is it your family? Is it you want to protect your country? Is it like you want to be the best at what you're doing? Like, what motivates you to keep going once you get to that breaking point?
It's the man or woman to your left or right. You never want to let them down. It's your team. Now, I say I got two families. I got my military family and I got my own blood family. But, with the military, when you train together, you eat together, you play together, you work out together, and it's that man and woman to your left or right that you never want to disappoint.
I like
that's
it.
What it that's what it is, and that's what from championships or what the team at the end of the day is, that when it ain't about you, it's about the guy not letting the guy down next to you. So congratulations. Enjoy your day. Thank you for joining us here on Big D Energy. That's State Command Sergeant Major and Senior Enlisted Advisor of the Michigan National Guard, the U.S. Army, William Russell III. Thank you. Enjoy your deviled eggs. I love deviled eggs.
Thank you, sir. Hey, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving.
Everybody in the comment section, give him a hand around the applause. We love having you guys on.
There, look at Fish gives a standing O.